Broadcasting live from the Complete College Prospect Studio in Sin City. Heard around the world.
Thinking of a master plan. This ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. So I dig into my pocket, all my money spent. So I get deeper, but still coming up with lint. So I start my mission, leave my residence, thinking how could I get some dead presidents? I need money. I used to be a stick-up kid, so I think of all the devious things I did.
Hey, what up? You know who it is, your boy, the big fella. Welcome to the Who's Up Next show. Welcome from wherever you're watching this show from. Like I say, X, Twitch, YouTube, whether you're listening on one of the other platforms or whether you're going to catch this the next day, I always appreciate you. We got a special type of show today, a different type of show today. One that has definitely, hey, what's up, E-Money? One that, it's going to be a raw show today. It's going to be one that, if I'm being honest, I was very leery about having a show like today's show. I was very, the thing, I already know that Airbnb and Rakim go hard, bro. What up? With sports, we tend to always just look at the ups, the performances. There's so much more to it, and there's this underbelly in sports. And I've noticed with dealing with youth athletes, of course, professional athletes, college athletes, high school athletes, that this thing tends to show its head in every aspect of sports. It doesn't matter whether it's male, female, doesn't matter whether it's ballet or it's football. Mental health is a thing. What I will start by saying about today's show is, look, of course, I'm gonna have some of the cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got our reporters that are out there doing their thing. I heard that Kevin is actually, not Kevin, Mark is actually here going to the Raiders game. That's dope. I wish I had known. I'd have tried to link up with you, brother. I want to discuss it. I'll put some of my own perspective in there, but I also want to, so treat today's show like a tarot card reading, right? If the message resonates with you, then it was meant for you. You know what I'm saying? But the show's definitely gonna be, in order to have a show like this, I can't let anything be sugar-coated. I gotta let it be as raw as it has to be. But I think it's something that needs to be discussed. We've seen it with athletes such as Simone Biles, Coco Gauff, plenty of other people that have had mental meltdowns, because when you are asked to do something at 120 all the time, practice, and in the performance of your job and everything else, and you do it for decades, or you're doing it, you just started, and you don't even know how to place those emotions in a place. Good morning. What up, Adrian? You want to place those emotions in a spot that fits, right? You want them to learn how to deal with those emotions early on. I was at a football game yesterday with a young man he's going to be an amazing athlete. I watched him get kicked out of a game for being violent. But the same thing, and I watch coaches yell at this kid for being violent. But the same thing he did in the game, we kind of celebrated at practice all week. So, of course, in the game, he was going to do the thing because he's only understanding that I'm being praised for that level of violence most of the time. The severity of the ups and downs would be like someone being on medication when they're playing their sport. They get all of the highs, right? Everything is firing off. All the pleasure sensors are firing off because you get all the cheers and the notoriety and everything else. And then you got to, whether it's stepping off the court or stepping over the white line on the sidelines on fields, this stepping off the mound, the second you step off, people expect you to be something completely different. And for young athletes, that's a tricky space. It's a tricky space. A show like this is going to resonate with some. I expect to see the numbers go up, and I expect to see the numbers go down, because I can see every platform on this side and who's watching and who's doing what. Because for some people, they're not ready to hear this. For others, they're ready to hear it. For the message is for whoever the message has to be for, but we have to discuss it. I've seen athletes die. I watched a young lady make her professional boxing debut in Colorado and die. I've seen athletes melt down and to blow up their whole family, like just destroy everything about the good parts of their life because it was just overwhelming. But I've also seen it on the other side where athlete is so celebrated that they continue to celebrate until they're broke. Because no one ever steps in and say, hey, we've got to do this. If I'm being honest, the one thing that you don't get in professional sport at any level, let's not lie about it, at any level, let's keep the show a buck, right? At every level of sports, no one is explaining to the athletes how to deal with what comes with this, deal with the rejection first, right? You hear actors and actresses talk about it all the time. Before I got my first movie, I went on 1,000 casting calls and all I heard was rejection, rejection, rejection before I finally got acceptance. And for a lot of people, they stop trying because they're tired of the rejection. It's too much. That same thing happens in sports. It happens all day, every day, for whatever reason. It could be favoritism. It could be lack of talent. It could be lack of understanding. It could be a bunch of things, but it happens every day. And so we never deal with the other side of this thing. And so I definitely wanted today's show to jump into some of that and really rock out and just touch bases with that. So like I said, if the messages are for you, don't get me wrong, there are a couple people that I know for a fact are watching this show that hey, what up, my dude? There's a few people watching this show that some of these messages are directly for them. And then there's other people watching this show. Hey, what's up, Ishmael? There's other people watching this show that hopefully some of these messages, whatever message you need, you take with you. I probably have 30 clips, a bunch of other stuff. Like I was still locking in while I was here. What's up, Noel? I was locking in while I was sitting here, just getting ready for the show because there was another clip I knew I needed to add and another one I knew I needed to add. And that was the thing. How much do you add and how much do you not, right? To have this discussion. This is something that even for myself, like it took forever to get here, right? To have an understanding, to know how to move, to know how to feel comfortable with sports and without sports, right? To know how to feel comfortable being me and not caring what anybody else thinks. And that's really the key to this thing. I had a great conversation this morning where, we talked about weakness with showing emotion, and showing emotion is not weakness. It's actually strength. The weakness is when you care what other people think about you showing emotion. That's the weakness, right? If I chose to cry in front of someone and then they chose to say that I was weak because of it, I could choose to kick their ass, and then they would find out immediately that yes, I may have cried in front of you, but I'm still me. Like, this is the way this show's gonna go, right? So again, if the show's for you, great today. If it's not, I get it, right? This is mental health is definitely one of those weird places that a lot of people in sports just aren't ready to go yet. Hold on, let me see something. That's truth. It's character and identity. It's facts. It's facts. Alejandro, what up, brother? This is, but I had to do it again. If I seem a little off about this show, it's because even though I'm comfortable speaking about it, I'm comfortable speaking in public. I'm comfortable doing what I do. I'm 1,000% secure in who I am. I was very this makes me uncomfortable, and that's the thing I want to get past for everyone else. Is that why is it uncomfortable? It's I'm comfortable for me, but for some reason I'm uncomfortable making other people have to think about this. But I know that it's what's necessary because we're seeing a lot of athletes fall and have to find a way back up. And when they fall because of stress or whatever it is, the world crashes on them and acts as if they're flawed, but they're not. They're just normal. You know what I'm saying? We all go through these things. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be sports, love, marriage, job, kids, whatever it is, but we go through these things, right? And there's all these ups and downs that are built into the sports and around the life of athletes, right? And so that's what we're going to get into today. I do have to do one, like there was one NCAA news, so I'm going to put that out there real quick before we jump into this thing. Look, Marquette University cannot fulfill their scholarships to the 2026 commits. So this kid opened up her recruiting. So do the budget cuts. Now, I promise you those budget cuts have nothing to do with football and basketball. The budget cuts are so they can pay football and basketball. But they didn't say one commit. When she sent it, it was to all 2026 commits. The school cannot uphold that due to budget cuts, due to profit sharing. So again, that's for the kids that are supposed to be looking forward to getting scholarships this year. This is another reason why we got to discuss mental health, is because this is going to be a hard road for some, and we got to rock out. So again, I always want to shout out my people over at, you know what I'm saying, OD Bowl. They got the game coming up out here in at SoFi Stadium. You know what I'm saying? They're rocking out in December. I got a lot of athletes in high school, youth, whatever, that are going to be going and attending. Get at your boy if it's something you're interested in for football, and we'll see what's up. You know, the film got to match a little bit. The information got to match a little bit. We'll get that thing done. But yeah, let's jump into it. I'm not gonna be nervous about this thing no more, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just do this thing. My phone blowing up, and I know it's just people on this thing, right? So let's get into this. I don't have Watchtower today. I do got a couple from Mark and Kevin. I didn't see. I mean, Mark and Tom Tabler. I didn't see anything from Kevin Moses, so I didn't have his thing up, but I'll make sure I do next week in case something went wrong. Hey, you know what? First off, let me deal with my dudes over at the Buena Colts. They lost on Friday, but it doesn't matter. Again, this mental health thing is for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? You already saw what I said to you, your whole team, right? To the whole program. I told y'all, keep your head up. Look, the only thing that matters now is that you make the playoffs. So you can't drop many more, right? You make the playoffs. L doesn't put you in a place where it's over forever. The only thing that L does is make the road a little bit tougher. That's it. But I guess you could look at that two ways, right? Does an L make the road tougher, or does it make you stand up tall first, right? If you fall to the bottom of the pile and you still make the playoffs, it isn't necessarily that it was worse. It just means that on day one, you got to come in and knock off the dude at the top. But realistically, if you knock off the team at the top, then the road is easier for you than the people that went the other way, because they're playing all the worst teams to get there. It just depends on how you mentally look at the cup. So my bueno coach, man, you know the big fella rock with you. The other hat ain't here because I wear it all the time. So, you know what I'm saying? This is the one that's staying in studio. But yeah, man, for my bueno coach, you know what it is. The big fella's with you. I'll never not be with you. Let's go.
Latest sports news off the street boppers. The baseball Furies dropped the ball, made an error. Our friends are on second base and trying to make it all the way home. But the inside word is that the odds are against them. Stay tuned, boppers. Stay tuned.
Hey, man, we stay in tune. We with you. It is what it is. You played a tough team, a definite top team, and you're stacked against another tough one next week, right? That's all right. You're playing the best right now. Make adjustments. Prepare for you know what I'm saying? Prepare to knock off everything else you're supposed to knock off and get ready for the playoffs. We still making this run for the state title. Doesn't matter. So my bueno coach, heads up. Guerrilla Army all day. Let's see. Leslie Morales. You have to learn from the L not to beat yourself up and not continue forth. That's it. That's really all it is. That's all it is. But the key is always whether or not the athletes have the leadership from the top to understand that. Because we have to remember for the younger athletes, they're still young, they're learning. They're trying to figure this thing out. I was trying to figure out which way I wanted to go with this first. But I think that the best way to go with this is definitely going to be to click in with this one right here. I say this to parents all the time for kids that I train. And I always see there's always some parent that rolls their eyes or some parent that's like, oh my God, like blah, 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 and whatever. You know, of course, parents run when they're not around me, they run their mouths, you know what I'm saying? And say whatever. And I guess think that I care, but I don't. I only tell you what you need to know so that you can hear it. But here goes a dude that deals with college coaches all the time. They report to him so that he can report the information. They tell him about all the same situations. He's completely connected. And I want to show you what he had to say about parents. Again, this is a mental health thing on the parent side. Today's messages are you can't address the athlete, but not address everything else, right? You can't address the athlete, but not address the parents, the boyfriends and girlfriends, the brothers and sisters, the teachers, everything that's involved. Mental health is a complete thing. It's not a one side or another. But I thought this was very interesting when it popped up because, again, even in my own world, I do have parents that, you know, feel like they know everything. So I thought this was very interesting. Let's go.
Today, another DM from a college coach that you need to see. Here's what they said. We've not moved on 2 national team kids because of parents. And trust me, we needed the kid. So a Power 4 high-level coach evaluated 2 different athletes who had the talent to help their team in ways that they needed, but they chose not to recruit or offer the athlete because of the parents. Not because of grades, not because of talent, not because of character or any of those things, because of the parents. And here's the reality that you need to understand. At the highest levels, talent is everywhere. Coaches know there's always another athlete willing to step in who can play the position. What they don't want is an off-the-field headache. If they think mom or dad is going to cause drama or be a constant distraction, they're going to move on to a different kid. That's why how we show up as parents matters just as much as how our kids show up as athletes. Your kid's talent might open the door, but you might come right behind them and close it just as fast by how you act in the recruitment process or on the sidelines. Don't be the reason your kid doesn't reach their dreams. Don't be the reason your kid doesn't get the offer. Be the reason the coach is excited to offer your kid because they know they're going to get a partner through the next 4 years.
I'm going to just leave that like a moment of silence. Because again, I have my own headaches. You know what I'm saying? There's always some parent that isn't an athlete, but thinks that they are or thinks they know. When you try to tell them and then they jump in and you're like, I can't stop it. I didn't even stop my own kid. My own kid does sabotage stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I could tell him, I made him watch the show today too. Because I was like, there's a message in here for him too. Hopefully his teammates are watching. because this mental health thing is a real thing, right? Damari, yo, I saw your film, bro. I definitely got words. You know what I'm saying? My dude sent it to me. It's in the weekly, you know what I'm saying, for Athlete of the Week. But I definitely got some words about you, big dog. But yeah, so parents, please listen. Don't be this problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't. If a coach tells you, you know what I'm saying, hey, let's be careful, parents can cost kids. Think about it. Those are two D1 offers that they were like, nah, we're good. And let's say they still got D1 offers, but what if those are partial D1 offers? But this team was willing to offer full rides. That's still an L to the pocketbook, especially if your kid don't have at least a 3.0. This is what I mean. And then you've got to turn around. What do? Do you turn around and actually tell your kid that you screwed it up? No, you're going to lie. You know what I'm saying? And so then you're going to put it on something else. But then that kid's going to think that the coaches didn't want them. This is what I mean by mental health in sports is so serious because so many other things can make a thing happen. So many other scenarios outside of the athlete's actual performance can make something go wrong, where they don't get an opportunity or everything else. And that's why the athlete has to be perfect. But every time something goes wrong that is outside of the athlete's control, the athlete still thinks it was them. They still believe they're the ones that did something wrong. And that's why the pressure is so much. As athletes get older, I tell them, don't go watch your own press. It's the worst thing you could do. Because even if you had a great game, there's going to be somebody in the comments that says something because they're not a fan of you or your team or your coach or life. I don't know, but someone's going to say something, and it could be a million voices saying something great, but that one voice that says something bad, they won't just be like, "Oh, you suck." They'll stack on it, and then it'll be enough to destroy you if you get enough of those. If you're not strong enough. Parents, allow your athletes to talk to you not just about their sport, but about the mental health side of it too. I took my son out of the whole school. I hate the school he ended up at. I absolutely hate it. I'm not happy about anything that came of it. We took him out of the second best school in the state because he was depressed after football season, even though they were offering him everything. He was starting, he was doing everything else. But for some reason, being at the school, he was coming home and his mental health was like off the rails. I'd never seen him like that. He's such a happy kid. So I was like, fine, we could change schools. Somehow he was happier at less. I don't know. But you got to let your kids come to you and tell you. You have to. You absolutely have to, because the consequences on the other side are insane. I have a kid right now that I have watched for 3 years. He has played sevens for me. He has done everything. This is another reason this show had to happen. He was less than 24. All he had to do was go to bed. Go to bed and wake up. That's it. He was showing up at a D1 university. This was going to be his opportunity out of a terrible life. And now he's in jail, or now he's facing a murder charge. Whether he did it, didn't do it, we'll find out. But I know what's going to happen. You can't have that and then a college still want to take a chance on you. Even if he's cleared, that's done. When all he needed was to just be at home. Be at home. Just go to bed. Life is going to change tomorrow. And it never happened. That's why this show had to happen. It's for situations like that. So again, the people that stay, thank you. I hope this works for you. The people that don't, hey, thank you. Wasn't for you yet. Maybe later in the future, you'll come to another show, or you'll come back to this show and watch that episode and be like, yo, I was ready for it now. You can only receive when you're actually ready to receive. That's the facts. I've been there. Matter of fact, let me jump into that. So I wanted to share a little bit, right? The big fella is born and raised Phoenix, Arizona. Well, not Phoenix, Arizona. I was born on a Gila River reservation. One of my grandmothers is from that reservation, the Maricopa, and my other is Navajo, from Navajo Nation there. We spent plenty of time on the reservations, but me and my brother were both born. Me and my next youngest brother were both born on reservation. Our life was not one of peace. You know what I'm saying? This is one of our communities. Phoenix, Arizona will always have a place in my heart because it gave us life, but that life wasn't easy. We had to dig, and nobody helped us on the mental health side. Like, we were in the streets, straight wild animals. Sports was the only thing that people kept pushing us to. Every single one, didn't matter. We played field hockey, we played basketball, we played baseball. Like, we did, if you could think of it, we were doing it because trying to find a way out. I grew up in these projects, you know what I'm saying? And trust me, when I was there, it didn't look much different than this. We played football in the back. You can see the clotheslines. At nighttime, dudes would get hung on those trying to run through, you know what I'm saying? Cement and dirt, you know what I'm saying? We had the 2 stories down the street. And again, this is what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? This is what we grew up in. Like, this is that environment, right? They name off the top 10 most dangerous streets in Arizona. And I lived on 5. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's McDowell, Indian Road, Indian School. But the number 1 is Van Buren. And we lived in this hotel for a year when I was growing up. My dad was career street. So we might not have nothing to eat. My dad might go out, rob somebody, and come home with just some cereal, just so we can have something to eat. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? We might have that same cereal with water. We might have that cereal dry. We was just happy to have something to eat. But we grew up living in this. Most people, if you know, you know. If you're from the city, you know, right? But Van Buren, boy, like that's the thing, man. But that's where I grew up. But I also grew up here too. And I know it seems crazy that I'm showing you a restaurant, but you can't see my mouse. But if you just look to the left of that the window where you receive your food, there's a payphone right there. For about 2-3 months, I lived in my dad's Thunderbird. You know what I'm saying? Just me and him. Whatever he was doing on them streets, he would do at that payphone. But we lived right there. Like, we slept in the car. We were homeless. But he still got me to practice. Still took me wherever I need to be. Nobody told me that these things weren't okay. Nobody told me that this life's supposed to be different than that. Nobody told me that, you know what I'm saying, you ain't supposed to be 8 years old running around in the streets, doing whatever. Nobody said that. My projects was so dangerous that if someone was to get killed or be hurt in the projects, you would have to, they put a fence, a bars around from it attached to my elementary, and it went all the way around and attached to the other side of the elementary. Went around the community, attached to the other side of the elementary. Had one way in. The cops would not come in there. You had to take somebody to the street because the cops, they're not going to go in there. But yeah, we made it. We made it out. But we didn't make it out without trauma. We didn't make it out without damage in our heart and in our mind. And no one told us that these things are supposed to be different. There's a lot of headaches that me and my brothers could have avoided if someone had done what I'm trying to do today, which is saying that it's okay and asking parents to talk to their kids. You didn't just want it, you needed it. Literally, the facts, like that's facts. It wasn't, I say it all the time. Like, we didn't get out because it was just like, oh, well, hell, hope it happens. It was just it was a necessity. It was a necessity. It was an absolute necessity. So you can do it. And you definitely could do it even better if you just fix this and fix this. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to stay into it, and we're just going to keep this show serious like that. But I thought I'd give y'all a little bit of my growth as a child, because that was the most important thing right there, right? Before being moved state to state and things getting better and better and better. But that was my beginning. And for a while, like a long while. And you can do it no matter what your circumstances are. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. You know, I'm a private person, so to share any of that is it just shows you how important this topic is for me. But let's get into this next video. We did parents. Let's go with the simple things right here. This one's for the adults and the athletes, because it's so true about when something goes wrong. When something goes wrong, we have to make a decision to get right. We have to make a decision to step up and change. If you're not getting playing time, stop saying that it's somebody else. Even if it's favoritism, right? Even if it's favoritism, you got to be willing to go out there, daddy ball, favoritism. I don't know, the coach just doesn't like you, whatever it is. You got to go out there and get past that. You got to choose to get up and go out there and say, you know what? I'm going to be so great. I'm going to be so great at practice that you cannot not play me. Because just going to practice and being like, yo, I'm better than him or I'm better than her, and y'all know it, right? And complaining about it, it's not going to change. But you got to go out there and you got to choose to just say it doesn't matter. I've got to make it undeniable. I've got to make it where you're going to lose your job if I'm not playing, because it's very clear that you are choosing to do something to me on purpose. That's what you can do. You can control that. It's the same reason why I don't argue with people. I'll argue. I know people say what they want to say. They're out there chirping, right? I don't argue. I just let them keep chirping. I let them keep chirping, because if I argue, by not arguing, people see that those people run they run that mouth running. It's not a two-way thing. It's how I do it. But that's how you got to do it at practice too.
You're one decision away from a different life. And you can make that decision any moment, any day. Like, you could make a decision today that changes the trajectory of your life, because a decision turns you in a different direction. Anybody that has gotten sober, anybody that's quit a job, anybody that's left a relationship or moved, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. That there is a decision, and typically, I don't know how it works for you, but for me, I have to get so sick of where I am that I'm like, I'm done. Like, enough of this, Mel. And for me, that moment, was 2008. We were $800,000 in debt. I was unemployed. My husband's restaurant business was going under. 3 kids under the age of 10. And I was drinking myself into the ground. I couldn't get out of bed. And I think that what's interesting about life is, even in moments where you're struggling, you kind of know the things you could do, right? Mm-hmm. You kind of know when you're not like doing things to help yourself. You kind of know. Like, I knew you should get out of bed. I knew I should stop drinking. I knew I should look for a job. Wasn't doing any of it because I didn't feel like it. I had lost hope. I was kind of in this mode, and this is what I also believe. You and I talked about this when you were on my podcast. That I think the single biggest thing in people's way, it's not a lack of skills. It's discouragement. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe that the simple things are going to work for you, you're not going to do it.
And there it is. If when I see, that message is twofold, right? That definitely is for my guys that have retired from sports or are on the cusp of making that decision. Because if you know, and if you don't know, you're about to know. It get complicated real fast, man. The depression's gonna set in super fast, and it'll take hold. It'll take hold and destroy everything. 1,000%. It's a big difference from having everybody asking for autographs and cheering to nothing. So that message is definitely for that. But at the same time, that message is for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? That you young athletes, that you're a decision away. You're just one decision away. Maybe you didn't work on your footwork, or maybe you need to work on your catching. Maybe you're just one decision from perfecting something away from everything that you want. But you got to stay strong in here. You have to stay strong in here. And sometimes that strength is just talking to somebody. That's it. Just communication. Now, I will say, be careful of where you communicate, because everybody ain't your friend. I got something for that later too. Everybody's not a trustable place. Everyone's not your friend. There's plenty of smile in your face people, talk behind your back people. There's plenty of people that smile in your face because they got their hand out. They just want to use you for whatever they could use you for. You got to be careful about those. You got to be careful about those. Those aren't safe places. But the people you can talk to, you need to talk to. Because sometimes you just need somebody from the outside to look inside and say, yo, you're right there. You're right there. There's a kid that I wasn't even sure. Like, I told him, hell, in the last week, a week or two, I probably told him multiple times, like, I don't know if football going to be for you. I found out yesterday, yes, it is. Yes, it is. The dude's a football player. What I found out is he's a game time soldier. He's Allen Iverson. He ain't practice. Nah. Game time. Without that kid, they lose, right? That kid threw the team on his back and was like, I'm just do this thing. I don't know what else to do, so I'm gonna just do what I do. He's a football player. He really is. And he could have broken multiple times. He has. I've seen him melt down completely. Entire life fall apart. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work out. Seen it. I've seen it. And it was different to see what I saw yesterday. Because what I understood was this kid's different. He has a future if we could just get this and this and his talent to click together. He just ain't a practice dude. We're going to have to fix that. But my son was like that. My son, I think, is still like that, to be honest. I think half of his problem is that if this guy gets on a field, the kid is exceptional. There's no doubt about where his future is headed. But in practice, he better than average. He's better than average in practice. The problem with being better than average or average in practice is you never get a chance to play. So it doesn't matter that you're a game time warrior, right? That game day, you're going to kill everything in sight. You're going to do this thing, right? That's irrelevant if you never get a chance to do that part. So that's why practice is important. And now I've got to figure out, hopefully with this show and some other things, how to get that through to this kid. Because I've barely started to get it through to my own kid. And hell, he has pedigree. So it's like practice is important for multiple reasons. Coaches got to be willing to bet it all on you, and they're not going to if they don't see it in practice. Even when they know. Let's go. I got so much to get through. So let's go. I'm not even going to play most of the ads today because I think this stuff is just so much more important than all of that other stuff. So outside of playing the writer stuff for sure. This one shocked me right here. Well, it didn't, but I think it's going to shock you guys because I hear it all the time with parents saying, well, my kid ain't getting any coaching at his high school or blah, blah, blah at college or blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, I want to be as clear as I can be. When you're a youth athlete, that's when you're supposed to get all the coaching at your position that you can get. So if your kids should figure out what they specialize in and then one other position. because the coaching is going to stop after that. High school, you're about to hear it right here, and it's so true. When you get to high school, college, and the pros, really what coaches want is to plug and play you. The only thing that they care about teaching you is the playbook, so that you fit the system that they're operating in. I had a coach. Look, I love winning, but you heard their coach on this show say, "Yo, I give them an opportunity to showcase their talent, and then really." Like they got to take care of that other stuff. That's not unusual. That happens. There's plenty of coaches here in Vegas that'll tell you that hands down. Coach Morocco at the number 2 school here will tell you in a heartbeat, your recruiting, that's on you. I give you a platform. You better learn this playbook. That's the only way. That's it. And so this parents, this is going to give you some insight.
Ain't developing players in the league. They don't need to, because when we draft you, we're not going to teach you how to catch. We're not going to teach you how to throw. We're not going to teach you how to tackle. We're not going to teach you how to cover. You should already be equipped with these things. Mm-hmm. We just need to teach you our system, and you, being who you are, now inserted into our system, should thrive. Coaches nowadays are benefiting more off of players' success more so than players benefiting off of the development of good coaching.
Listen to what he said there. Again, if you think this message is for you, it is for you. Okay? Youth coaches, you got one job. This is the only opportunity these kids get to learn how to do a position. I know you want to win, right? I know, and this is across everything. I know you want to win. I know you want to do what you want to do, but you are the success of those athletes is 1,000% on you as a youth coach, plus their trainer and everybody else, right? Because that's the only place that they're going to learn how to do something. When my son was at Liberty, one of the coaches was very specific. He was talking to the entire team. He looked at me, he looked at the players, and he said, "Look, I don't have time to train you to do anything. You need to go see somebody like him if you want to learn how to play the sport, and then you come back here so that you can do what you got to do for me. But we don't have time to train you about anything." They're dead serious. They don't have time to teach. They do, but it's different now. You know what I'm saying? So youth sports they're valuable in that aspect, that those coaches need to teach a kid how to do a position. So it doesn't matter that you say go here if they don't understand what being there does. You know what I'm saying? Like or this is the play, but they don't understand the thing, right? The responsibility of youth programs across all sports is that you're actually the most important of every level. Youth coaches are more important than any other coach that your kid will play for. And that's why they have to be their counselor, their fathers and mothers, their best friends, their train. Like those coaches are required. That's why it deserves respect, because those coaches are asked to do so much. Because the coaches that come later get the product. They get the product and then they just adjust the product. They tweak the product a little bit to work with what they do. But youth coaches hold a greater responsibility, which is why it's so frustrating to do the job. You've got to have the right people in place, because you are the catalyst for these kids' mental health and success when it comes to doing their sports. It's a thankless job, I know. So I'm going to thank you. Every youth coach out there. And look, there's probably somebody watching this show that I don't even like, you know what I'm saying, as a coach. But it doesn't matter if I like you. What matters is whether or not you're good at what you do. And I thank you for the fact that you are trying to do what you're trying to do, whoever that is. Again, I know tons of coaches. So what I will say is thank you. Thank you for your time, because you do it for free. Thank you for your effort, for the ones that do go above and beyond, that don't just show up. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, because you are the place where the love for sports grows. And I hope that understanding that will transform the way that some coaches coach, is understanding that you are the first place where an athlete grows to love a sport. Just being dead ass. All right. Let me get over here real quick. I'm going to go to Inside the Grade book for Tom Tabler. He has some great athletes on there. So I want to bang that out. And then I'm going to go coast to coast in a second. But let's do this. I want to break it up a little bit. And then we're going to come back with some more of this other stuff because it's just so much to talk about. Hey, you watching the Who's Up Next show. Let's go.
It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you. Do the song get to. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you. The song get to. If you want me to love you, maybe I will. Believe me, woman. It ain't no big deal. Oh, you need love now, just as bad as I do. Makes me no difference now. Oh, you think your thing? Oh, it's your thing. What you gonna do? I can't tell you. But I shot you too. Say it's your thing.
Welcome back. It's the Who's Up Next show. We having a show today about mental health in sports, mental health in coaching, mental health as a parent, mental health on everything and everyone who's involved in an athlete's life, or if you are the athlete, and the things that you need to consider and things you should do, and being open to discussing when you are having issues with the right people. Again, even when you're dealing with, everything, whether it's love, because relationships happen during sports. Sports relationships are dangerous. You know what I'm saying? They're dangerous because for athletes, life is going to be up and down for a minute. And I know, look, man, here's what I don't hate it because I understand it and I know the inside scoop of that thing, but you have things like, it looks like LeBron been rocking with his wife since high school. If you believe that nothing else has happened, you're dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other way for me to say that. It's just that there's an agreement. And I know that seems like such a far-fetched thing for the everyday person, but it's not. There are athletes and their wives that have come out publicly and said, like, nah, this is what this thing is, and this is what he or she can do, and blah, blah, blah. And so that they found a way to make their relationships work in this world of whatever, right? But most times there's a lot of pain. There just is. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's kid is immune to it. Nobody's kid is immune to being the person that makes the mistake. Nobody's kid is immune to being the one that suffers for the mistake. I am not a fan of, I think high school relationships, youth relationships should be done more careful. You know what I'm saying? In general, hell, I think college relationships should be done more careful. I think that until people settle into who they are, what they're going to become, it gets real tricky. It's easier when you both are just going to go get a job. You know what I'm saying? And your future is down the street. That life is a lot more secure. Those decisions can be made a lot easier. A lot of men and women fall, to the temptation that surrounds sports because it's madness, right? It's absolute madness. And people get hurt. And it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like it does. It sucks and it is what it is, but at the end of the day, I truly believe that we need to have an understanding when it comes to certain things like that. So we're going to deal with all that. We're going to deal with love. We're going to deal with whatever. Let's go with, I wanted to do this one real quick because I've been a big proponent of telling parents and athletes that To be an athlete means to sacrifice everything. Nothing can come before your sport. Nothing. Not love, not family, nothing. It requires it. It requires it. If your wife is going to have a baby one day and you are in this game day, your baby is definitely going to be born without you. Now, the team is going to say, nah, you could go if you want to, and you're going to have choices, right? In that moment, you could be like, yo, I'm going to go see my kid be born. Great. Someone else is deaf. The game is going to happen. They're not postponing anything, which means someone else is going to play. And what the team, although they will not say it to your face, is going to think it's going to be that we can't rely on that person. They don't take this seriously. So I want you guys to see this. My man's brother passed away the day before, and all he could do was suffer through it, but he had to show up and do the job.
All about it when I see you again, when I see you again. Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through, that I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got?
You guys got to understand what you watch. Quan fell apart before the game. He couldn't, like, the emotion was so tough. He couldn't help it. He kept falling apart during the game. He gave so much in that game that he never had a game that resembled that game again. Emotionally, he just gave it all over to the game. And the game took it. It accepted everything that he had to give that day. Never once explaining that you'll never have another day like this. This is what it means to be an athlete, and this is why mental health is so important. This is why it's so important. Do you understand what athletes give when they go out to perform? They go out there and they give everything that they have, and then we expect athletes to turn it off ASAP, right? If it's football, you expect all the violence, and the second that we step over the line to the sideline line, you expect people to turn right back into normal human beings. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. They send soldiers away to go to war, and then they come home, and now they at least get a 30-day. We're going to keep you here with us before we send you to your family, because we've seen how that plays out. But you expect athletes to be on this immense high, giving everything, and then step off the court, step over the sideline, go back to normal. 2 seconds later. 2 seconds ago, I was over there sending dudes to the hospital, trying to kill everything that I touch. I'm here to eat, here to destroy. 2 seconds later, you want me to smile. You want me to be normal. You want me to hold conversations. You want me to be polite. You want me to turn off the kill switch. We've got to understand what those ups and downs do over time. And that's why parents, it's important that when your kid comes out of whatever sport they're doing, don't talk about the sport. Wind them down. Wind them down to something else. Don't talk about how good or bad they did. Trust me, it's been going through their head like a machine. You got to talk about something. You got to bring them down. Got to bring them down to earth first. And that's including when they're winning. It doesn't matter how big the win was and everything, like that high, you got to bring them down. You got to bring them down. You got to bring them down gently. That life is like back to here. And then you could talk about the thing. Then you could get everything out of them that you want to get out of them. Then you could get that understanding. But the ups and downs and how fast they are. I've seen, look, I told you the show is going to be raw. I know I've seen a dude put a shotgun in his mouth. Absolute star. Put a shotgun in his mouth. Absolute star. Everything looked good over here. But the ups and downs, right? You just don't know. You can't see it coming. No reason for this dude to do that. That's not fair. He had a reason in his own mind, but from the outside, it's like there's no reason. Like you have everything, but it doesn't be like that. I had a teammate in high school that seemed he had a great girlfriend, great family. They were well off. He never needed anything, wanted for anything, car at 16, everything. Like if you, all the rest of us that didn't have anything wanted to be that guy. We went over to his house after school for meals because we knew his mom was going to lock it in. Like we much rather be at his house than our own. Left school one day, went home to get ready for practice. Called his girlfriend, had her come over. His room was off the kitchen. His mom was in there making him something to eat before practice. And he hung himself. Didn't say anything to anybody. Really good friend to me and my brothers. And he hung himself. Everything looked perfect. His mother destroyed. She had no idea. His girlfriend came over, walked in the room, he was gone. Sports are tricky. They require everything. Most of you live your life, and if you really think about it, what have you ever really, if you don't have kids, what have you ever given everything to? And when I say everything, I'm talking about what have you ever been just, people say that, listen, somebody right now is like, I would die for my kids. That's a lie. That's a lie. I know one dude that was really willing to die for it. His daughter fell off a cruise ship. If he waits a second, she dies. He did not. As she was falling, he was falling. And they said that's what saved his daughter's life because the cruise ship took 30 minutes to get down, turn around, come back. Barely found him. If it wasn't for the dad, the mom was still on the, she never even thought to jump. But I guarantee you, if you had asked her 2 minutes before that happened, yo, would you give your life for your kid? She's like, oh my God, I would give my last breath for my kid. Apparently not. Because they should have said that there's 3 people overboard. Without discussion, when the dad jumped, he should have looked to the side and been like, oh, we did this together. But instead, she rode that ship 30 minutes around and back. So when I say, what would you give everything to? Because this is what athletes do. Really good ones give everything to it. And that's why the ups and downs are insane. That's why I say I don't understand when people say an athlete sucks, because realistically, there's no such thing as a bad athlete. They might not have as much talent as someone else. They may not have the physical gifts of someone else, but the fact that they're out there grinding every day and giving what they have, like, is there really a such thing as a bad athlete? You could go to any practice and see a bunch of kids that are just sitting around watching other kids do something. I'm going to go with they're the bad athletes because they don't play sports. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But any kid that plays sports, I think you have to give respect to. I think you have to. I think it's a must because this thing requires everything. For you athletes out there, This one's on you.
If I could instill one piece of advice into all human beings, it would simply be to believe in yourself beyond, without a doubt. Believe in yourself, and don't rely on anybody to believe in you. Don't rely on anybody to push you or make you better. Believe in yourself and only yourself, and allow that human being to make you a better person.
Me and the devil walking side by side.
I want you to understand what he said. He said, don't depend on anybody else. I mean this, athletes. He said, if you got to depend on anybody, depend on yourself. Listen to yourself. Build up yourself. And then take advice from yourself. Because you're the one that knows what you've done to be where you are. Every bit of that advice isn't going to be the best advice, but hey, at least you know that advice came from somewhere that cares. Hammerhead, no such thing as a bad athlete. Facts. I'm going to stand on that business all day, every day. There's no such thing as a bad athlete. There could be bad coaches. Like I said, there could be that they just have less physical attributes that make them do what they do. Maybe they don't get it. Maybe it's the wrong sport, whatever the situation, but there's no bad athletes. But for you athletes, believe in yourself. Once you believe in yourself, you take advice from yourself, you build up yourself, everything else will come along because people will start to understand that the only thing that matters to you is what you do. So then they'll understand that to be around you, they must believe in you too, because you won't settle for people that do not. You must surround yourself with those that believe in you the way you believe in you. It's the only thing that's going to keep you mentally sane in this thing. And think about it. We didn't even do it when there was social media. That it was insane then. I can't comprehend. There are people that they wake up every day. They're not going to make a positive post about nothing. They get up and their whole job is to find things that are positive and post negative about them. That's what makes them feel good. So when they see an athlete that did something great, they're going to cut them down. They're going to make sure that their voice is so loud. You guys are up against something that destroys mental health 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For us, we just turn off TV. Don't pick up that paper. Don't read this article. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But for you guys, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So this show had to happen. This show is about the truth. It has to be. This show had to happen. It absolutely had to happen. Mental health is important. And I never want to hear about somebody that watches this show, somebody that's part of the Army. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that you guys broke down. Look, at worst case scenario, right? I don't know you. Let me say this. I don't even know you, right? You part of the Army. If you need to talk to anybody and you just need someone to listen, you hit the big fella. You message me wherever, and I don't care. You tell my people, yo, I need him. I need to talk to him. I need to get a message to him. I'm going to make sure I will respond. I will always be a voice that will listen. And if you want some advice, I will give it to you. I won't have every answer. And that's why sometimes if you just need somebody where you need to say something, you need a person to listen, hit the big fella. If I hope you hit your own circle first. But if you don't have a circle yet, if you're still in the process of building a circle, you find the big fella. Because as athletes, if we aren't supporting each other, then who the hell else is going to support us? So please, again, mental health is important. We've seen great athletes fall recently quite a bit because of this. And we just can't have it. All right, let's go. I like this one. Let's go.
He speaks because he survived. He doesn't beg for peace. He builds it with his bare hands. I've been through the fire, not once, but over and over. Life tried to break me, bury me, silence me. But here I am, not as I was, but stronger, colder, wiser. The pain didn't end me. It transformed me. I'm not the same person who walked into the storm. I'm the one who walked out of it carrying lightning in his chest. I no longer fear the dark. Because I've become the fire.
Listen to me. For those that were watching the show earlier, you got a chance to see where I come from, right? I'm never, again, this message is for whoever it needs to go to, right? I always know. I've never been afraid to walk alone. I walk fine just by myself. When I choose to allow someone to rock with me, it is a choice. When you make a different choice, trust me about how easy it is for me to decide to go the other way. Athletes, this is how you must be. If you are to survive this thing, you have to get to this place. You have to get to this place where it's not about being cold-hearted. It's not about arguing with people and fighting with them either. You just simply don't. Because you know who you are and what you'll do. You know who you are and you know how important it is to march the way that you are marching and going to the place that you are going. Everybody that rocks with you ain't supposed to rock with you. To be honest, most of them won't even be around. Just give them a little bit of time. They're there for a minute for a reason. The ones that are supposed to be there forever will be there forever. But you can't trust that everyone is that person. I know what goes on behind me. Just because I don't say anything doesn't mean I don't know. But I also can't care about what's behind me because I only have one place that I'm trying to get to, and that's what's in front of me. That's what you guys have to remember, athletes. Parents of athletes, you too. Can't matter about what another kid got. Can't matter about, look, the same parents that cheer for your kids in the stands will boo your kid in a heartbeat. So when they say, oh, no, I love your kid. No, they love what your kid can do for their kid. I'm about to get into this team stuff tough here in a second. Now, I'm not saying that's every program or every set of parents. There are some parents that truly care about your kid. But let's be real, for the most part, unless somebody would come see your kid when their kid ain't playing, excuse me, no. I know parents where if their kid ain't going to play for the day, they won't even show up to support the team. They'll sit there and they will act as if it's a group thing, but it's not. The good programs build family. Those other people, they'll never boo your kid. Because in that moment, they want your kid to be just as successful as they want their kid to be. But see, that takes a different type of adult. That takes a different type of teammate. But for you athletes, you can't do that anyway. Watch this one on Friends.
No friends. There's absolutely no friends. You are there to be the absolute best player on any team of any sport. And that's it. Whatever it takes.
He was demanding of everybody. He was going to give himself up to make every play he could possibly make. And just his swagger around the building, it really wore on our football team.
I just think people liked his intensity. People loved watching Cushing play.
If you guys really want, just stay out here for the first series. I'll go out by myself. Yeah. I'll do it. Seriously. 1 versus 11. I like my odds.
You understand? He said 1 versus 11. I like my odds. I don't even need y'all. You know how crazy that is to tell your teammates? But amazing dude. This is that thing, right? This is that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Let's not act like everybody can't play. Somebody got to sit. So why are we acting as if we're best friends? We're teammates. If we're in youth, when we go to high school, we might not ever speak again. If we're in high school, when we go off to college, unless we go to the same location, we might not even speak again. We were thick as thieves when we was together, but yeah, that's proximity. That's how I feel about relationships. Proximity. You haven't had to make a choice yet. You got friends in junior high, elementary, high school, you dating whoever, your proximity, of course, you're going to see each other all the time. You have to make a choice. There was no hard decisions being made. Everything was easy because you were right there. Guaranteed every day we're going to see each other. The hard part is when decisions have to be made. So then, as an athlete, why am I acting like you play my position and I'm acting as if we're friends? We are not friends. You have to sit down. We're not doing this together. There's only one scholarship. I'm getting that. You're not getting that. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I want you to get that. Because if you get it, I might not get it. We're a team that works together as we work together. If it works, it works. But when it doesn't work, you better believe I'm going to get mine. Yes, it's about team. I'm not going to say it's not, because the team has to do well. But at the end of the day, I still got to get mine. I'm sorry. That's what this thing means unless you play in an individual sport. So I think I think we make a mistake on the mental health side of that as well. Because one minute we're telling the kids like, yo, you got to do this, you got to be a team player and blah, blah. But then we yell at them when they're like, oh yeah, here, you can have this rep. And then you're on the sideline like, what are you talking about? We don't give up reps. Well, you said I should share. No. I mean, I said that, but like, I don't really mean that. But wait, I'm trying to be a good parent. No. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean that. No, I don't mean that. In sports, I do not mean that. In life, I mean that. But in sports, I absolutely do not mean that. And I don't care who else hear me say it. That's where you're supposed to be. That's where you're supposed to be. When the coach says somebody's up, if that dude turns his back, I take the next rep. Oh, that was supposed to be mine. No, it wasn't. If it was supposed to be yours, you should have been paying attention. Every chance I get, I'm going to make sure I'm getting seen. I don't care if you get seen. We're friends over there. We're not friends over here. And mentally, the athlete needs to understand that does not make them a bad person. It does not make them a disrespectful person. It does not do any of that. This is just the nature of the thing that we do. Look, for you athletes that are in relationships or going to be in relationships, I get it. For me, let's do both, right? So let's do love first.
If you ask me if I love you, I'd say yes. But if you asked me again, I'd say my love for you is immutable. It's in the way I can't stop thinking about you even when I'm busy, or how you listen to me ramble about nothing and everything. It's how everything is better when you're a part of it, and how I feel complete when I'm with you, and lost when I'm not. I would tell you that I love you like deep conversations, love rooftop views, or like how I love the moments we steal away from the world and make our own. And I would tell you how even a look from you sends shivers down my spine, or how I love that your voice softens when you say my name. To love you is to love the layers of your history that have shaped you, and every new layer that comes. It's to taste new beginnings, and to dream of 1,000 tomorrows.
Look, that's a great love, right? I hope that most of you athletes feel that you find that person that's what you feel, right? But that also comes with a level of understanding, on both sides. That's rare. An understanding that sometimes we can't be together, period. I need you to go have your best life, right? I'm not just holding on because I don't want to be alone. You know what I'm saying? I want you like that. That's that kind of love, right? But then you also have to understand that this is the other side to that thing, right? And you have to be fair and put these things in place. All of this is about the mental health of an athlete and the things that surround an athlete. You have to see the other side too, like this.
There are people who come in your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people that we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for a season. There are people who come in your life like boosters for a rocket. If you ever watch a rocket go into space, the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude. Some people are not equipped to handle the altitudes that you're going to. So don't be afraid when they fall off. They're not bad people. They just couldn't go where you're going.
And I mean that. Like, I need you to understand that there's people out there that are in relationships right now that need that message right now. There's people that have been in relationships that are no longer in relationships, and both sides need to hear that message right now. Like I said, this show today, some of these messages are sniper shots. Some of these messages are for people. For some people, you need not to feel bad about however it's going. If you're still in the situation and you're trying to move differently, you shouldn't feel bad about it, because sometimes people, it's not forever. For some of you that are no longer together, you both need to understand that the other person just wasn't there. They were meant to get you to this place where you can lift off, right? Where you can lift off towards where you're trying to go. But then they for whatever reason, on all sides, they couldn't get to or go with you where you were heading. It does not make them bad, and it does not make you bad. It just means that you're both destined for something great, and that the other person wasn't going to allow that in your circumstance. But it doesn't mean that there's not someone else that will help to lift you all the way out. And that's how that works. There's a lot of athletes that are in relationships right now. Hell, that message is even for the adults. There's a lot of you in relationships right now that just ain't, it's not, the person is just boosters. Get you to where you are, not where you're going. Let's rock. In a second, I'm about to put up Coast to Coast, because I want to talk to the young man that hit me on here a second ago. Matter of fact, let's do that real quick. Let me go find Coast to Coast. Let's do this Coast to Coast real quick. The young lady on here, look, if you don't have an X account, this is terrible when you don't have an X account. We can't do photos of you. We can't get video of you. Parents, stop it. Stop it. X is mandatory. Every coach on planet Earth is on X, period. Again, I don't even like Elon Musk. I hate what X has done. And I'm telling you, you better be on X. If you're not on X, this thing is not happening. It is absolutely not happening. Period. Full stop. It's where it is. So I got video, you know what I'm saying? The team got the video for the two young men, the young lady that I asked for. I appreciate that. Mark, of you getting her in there. I did still put her on, but we couldn't do anything else with that. Let's go Coast to Coast. Mark Gibson.
What you need, yeah. Get the cream, yeah. Why you slacking? Why you talking all the top, boy, you capping? What you need, hey? Yeah, I got it. With the team, yeah. We about it, Get the cream, yeah. Why you slacking? Why you talking all the top, boy, you capping?
Yeah, why you capping? Why you capping, no? Feel like a rubber band, I've been snapping, no. Yeah, I've been up here with my team, so you know this what I mean. We been going up like NASA, bro. Run it up. So we getting these numbers up. This time we back, then I'm coming up. I'm about to mess our summer up. Been in the lab like all day. I hit a J like Beyonce. I saw him coming from far away. We need it all way.
Hey, what you need, yeah? Man, I got it, wow. With the team, hey, we about it, Get the cream, yeah. Why you slacking? Why you talking all the top, boy, you capping? What you need, hey? Yeah, I got it, with the team.
Kelsey, see what I'm saying? Like you become a blip. I'll still give my guys are doing great work. So I'm going to give you the blip, but I can't do much. Now, Damari. Normally I don't comment on the players of the week because I let it just be their opinions, right? But because you actually let me know you on the show and you know what I'm saying, you wanted to see what I had to say. I normally only do things like this, my guy, when it's somebody that's actually on my show, interview status, or I pull a film to take a look at something. I'm telling you right now, my guy, right now, your running ability is 1,000%. 5 gorillas, big dog. 5 gorillas. Your shiftiness is, I love it. Like I thought I loved everything I saw, bro. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, I loved everything I saw. I love the ability to bounce out. I tell young guys all the time that I need them to learn how to bounce back, bounce out, do different things if they're going to play the running back position. I know for a fact that at least that 1 or maybe even 2 of the running backs that I'm currently messing with got a chance to see that. I hope they go back in there and actually replay your clip. I know that 1 has an X account. I hope he actually goes and follows you because when you hit that Hope, matter of fact, Hope did it last night anyway. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna act like it ain't business. He hit a gap. The hole was closed. My man bounced out, did what he had to do, got the yards. I heard he got in trouble for it. I don't really get that, but my man covered himself, still took care of business. If the hole is closed, you got to go, right? I loved everything I saw. I think 5 gorillas, my guy. I know 5 gorillas. If I got a chance to see more, I have a feeling that it's actually 6. I'm building out my 10 gorillas too, because there's a lot of kids out here getting these 6s. You know what I'm saying? But I loved everything that I saw in the film, man. Everything that I love. I'm excited to see, how this is going to play out. You definitely playing in college, bro. Like that's not a question. So, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait to, hey, man, you know what? Get with, who put you on? Mark. Hit Mark up. Come on my show, bro. Let's chop it up. Let's do a real conversation, my guy. Let's do a real conversation. I don't like saying this stuff without talking to the athlete. So come on the show. Let's chop it up. Let me do it right. Let me show everybody full set of clips because there's plenty of film to do the thing. And let everybody get a glimpse at who you are and what you do. And that way that you're part of the guerrilla army and I can follow and make sure, I can't wait to welcome you as a collegiate athlete, my guy. But it's definitely gonna happen. That's not even a question. So there you go. That's the invite. Mark, link him up, bro. And let's do that thing. Let's see. All right. Hey, for you. So look, there's some athletes that are just built like this. I'm happy that this clip I'm about to put up is up here on the mental health side because the conversation I had this morning, I think this message is for you. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think this message is for you because some of us are just built this way. But at some point, we have to get tired enough to set down our armor, set down. It doesn't stop us from being warriors. It doesn't stop us from being fighters. But at a point, we have to figure out that we're tired. not tired of the excitement of just being that person, but tired because we need something else. You can't be a warrior all the time. At some point, something tender has to happen. So for all you athletes out there, all you parents that are hard asses about being on your kid all the time about whatever, when it comes to their athletics, or like at some point, we've got to tell that soldier that it's okay to just sit down for a minute. Let's go.
Some people are just born to fight, I think. It's not that they're born brave. It's not that they're born strong. It's just that the universe has decided that this one will have grit and fire and steel in their blood. And it'll be tested, this cosmic metal of theirs. They'll face trial after trial, be broken and damaged in countless ways. But this one was born to fight. Maybe it's not the life they would have chosen. Maybe they'd love to lay down their arms. But they were born to fight.
Listen, I don't know if I was born to be this way or not, right? What I know is I was a nerd for the majority of being a little kid. I won every book reading, summer book reading competition. All I did was read books, eat carrots. It was the weirdest thing, right? And then an incident happened that forced me to fight, to stand up for my younger brother. And then everything changed. That's when I realized that I enjoyed that part, the ability to be violent when violence is necessary. And it never changed. I never got to be what I could have been. And then sports came and violence works. But I have to wonder sometimes, like, what would I have been? If I had a choice, I didn't choose it. If I had a choice, what would I have done? What else could I have done? We have to, for athletes, there's just no options. My guy, hey, lock in, Damari, for sure. I got you, bro. Everybody saw it. We doing this, and we not waiting like weeks. We gonna lock it in. Matter of fact, inbox me on X, bro. Inbox me on X. I'll get it on my phone, and I'm gonna link up with you right after the show. Look, I don't regret being me, but I didn't start with courage. I want to be as clear as that. I used to get bullied all the time, and I was a big kid. Then I realized, like, nah, I fight bullies. I'll never be a bully, but I fight bullies. I'm nice with these. And then I figured out sports, it loves violence, and then I was good. And I'll never forget playing for the Commanders in Little League Pop Warner, and my coach wanted me to be a quarterback. I remember everything was great at practice. And then the game happened. They snapped the ball, and I saw the whole team coming, and I was like, no, I'm good on this. I turned around and ran and threw the ball over my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm good. I could have had a coach that gave up, right? Being like, yo, you're a coward. This isn't for you. But then he figured out, like, yo, no, let's put the dude on defense. And that's the moment that I understood. Like, I don't like violence being done to me. I'm here for it if you want it. I don't like violence being done to me, but I figured out that I'm good with violence if I initiate it, right? You never know, coaches, parents, what your athlete is capable of until you give them a chance to do everything. Don't just want your just because the ball carriers or the shooters get all the love, your player don't have to be that. The kicker is still a professional athlete. Like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. I don't understand. If your kid don't like to do cardio, the kicker doesn't do any of that. The kicker, if I knew what I know now, the kicker is not going to have any of the long-term damage. The kicker is there's not this huge pool of amazing kickers. So as long as you perfect being a kicker, you're pretty much going to be on easy street to get this job on every level, right? You're still going to be rich. You're still going to be famous. You're still going to be a professional athlete. You're still going to be able to parlay that into other things after retirement. Hell, as a kicker, I don't even know the limits of how long your ass could be a kicker. I know that it's a long ass time because you're not taking hits. Yet parents will be like, no, ball carrier. If I was D Crab. What's up, D? Nice. Hey, what's up, Coach K? No. But seriously, like there are other things to do. You don't have to be in the glamour position. You know what I'm saying? Like just you got to give your kid a chance to try different positions, period. Different sports, period. See what they're about. Give them every option because one thing might not fit, but the next one will. But again, that's a mental health thing. And that's the side for parents. Can you get out of your own way? Like we started with, a parent can destroy everything because they can't get out of their own way because they want to see their kid be something that their kid is not. You can send your kid down a road that it looks all right, but later on it's not going to be all right because they're not going to pass the eye test. Most of these college recruiters, everything they do first is about the way that they look at a kid. Or if they look at their measurables, it's like, no. The kid might be amazing, but they'll never get to the film. They'll never get to the film. This is a mental health thing. Like I said, today's that show, man. It's about mental health on every aspect. Every aspect of what we do and how we do it and how we have to be. Now, for you athletes, the young man that got in trouble last night, I hope that you're watching this, or I hope someone tells you to watch this. I'm not going to say your name because we're not going to do that. Violence is necessary in certain things. And when we choose not to be violent is the most important thing. And here's the reason why.
All the scary guys are the nice ones.
If you are intimately familiar with violence and you are capable of violence, the less you have to prove and the less amount of violence you have to do to ever be successful at anything. My family will never know the amount of violence I've done to understand like how soft and gentle I am to them. You know, like my kids have never seen a harsh hand out of anger or out of fear or an ego position. If there's harshness, it's out of love and wanting them to be a better people. But you're 100% right. These monsters out there are the nicest people on the planet. Yeah. And it's because they're capable of doing so much. Jordan Peterson talks extensively about a man being pushed to his absolute limits. He should be capable of doing violence. And he's a good person because he chooses to be kind. Like if you're not capable of hurting somebody and you don't hurt somebody, that doesn't mean you're good. That just means you're useless. But if I'm able to take your face off, but I choose to be kind and gracious and giving and selfless to you, now I'm good.
Understand it. I've had to learn that over the years. There's rooms that I walk into and people are absolutely intimidated. And I'll bring it down, right? I'll bring it down so that the room can breathe. And then people get to know me and they're like, oh my God, we love this dude, right? And that's the important part, right? I put up a poll. I had my people put up a poll about would you rather have loyalty or respect? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I don't want to just jump the gun. Let me make sure which one won. So on the poll, I was pretty sure it was loyalty. Yeah. Loyalty won at a 92% clip, right? Loyalty won over respect. See, I'm a little different with that one. Some people said if you're loyal to me, then you respect me, but that's not necessarily true. A person can be loyal to you and still be disrespectful to you. Whoever that message is for, it's for you. A person can be loyal and be disrespectful. Those two are, it depends on what type of loyalty we're talking about, right? They don't have to betray you to be disrespectful to you. So technically they were still loyal to you, right? But they're disrespectful to you. I'd rather have respect. Let's see, both is needed, but D said respect. See, respect if she had to choose it. See, I'd rather have respect. If you respect me, then what you'll understand is loyalty to me means that even if you have a problem with me, come say it to me. I'm gonna repeat it so it doesn't go over people's head, right? Respect, if you respect me, if I do something great, you'll tell me. But if I do something wrong, you'll tell me. Just being a yes man or woman isn't being loyal to me. And it damn sure isn't respecting me. So for me, I'd rather have respect. But apparently the majority of society rather have loyalty. I'm different like that though, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But apparently D with me though too. So, you know, it is. Hey, this one with grind, I really like. My guy is vicious. So, you know, we got small children.
You have to fucking want it, not kind of want it, not when it's convenient. You have to be obsessed, because obsession will beat talent every single time. You can have all the talent in the world, but talent without obsession is fucking useless. Talent gets tired, talent gets lazy, talent thinks it's entitled. Obsession doesn't sleep, obsession doesn't quit, obsession doesn't give a shit about excuses. Obsession keeps showing up when talent taps out. And that is the difference between the people who talk about being great and the people who actually become great. The obsessed don't care about being liked. They don't care about looking cool. They don't care about balance. They care about one thing, winning. And that's why they crush the so-called talented ones every fucking time. So stop pretending talent is enough. Stop thinking you're special because you've got some gift. Gifts fade. Comfort kills. Obsession is the only thing that survives. You want to be a savage? You better get addicted to the grind.
Listen. I could not have said that better. Athletes on the mental health side of being an athlete, look, that's it. You have to be obsessed with this thing. If you want to be successful at this thing, you have to be obsessed with it. It has to be everything. I don't want to hear that you know what I'm saying, tired of training because whatever, I'm tired of conditioning, I'm tired of lifting weights, tired of whatever. Like, then this is not for you. Parents, if I hear that out of your mouth, or any coach or trainer or whatever, or your kid, your athlete, if they hear it out of your mouth that you're tired or whatever and blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. This is not going to work out. Because the truth of the matter is, this is a thing that you absolutely must be obsessed about. It must be everything. I told you, you have to be willing to give everything to it, which means that you're giving over your very being to it. And if you do that, that's why mental health is so important. Because if you give everything to something, it can abuse you. That's why when you have a concussion, but the coach is like, yo, we need you. You're like, all right, coach, I'm gonna put my helmet back on. And we just gonna talk like I didn't have a concussion. I've seen it. I've seen it. It's an obsession. It's something you can't do without. Why do y'all think look, man, these Sundays, I'm here. I make sure y'all get the information. I make sure I do what I got to do. I make sure I lock this thing in. I just don't give a damn, right? And then on the other side, we bang, 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 everything about Complete College Prospect, because I'm also obsessed with the fact that every athlete isn't treated fairly. Every coach can't recruit like other coaches because they don't have the money in their program to do that. Every high school isn't cut from the same cloth. Some have money, so they help recruits do one thing and other ones don't. The same with students. And that's why we evolved to that too, because I'm obsessed with our ability to help a kid get to their dreams. I'm obsessed with that. I took an obsession for sports and turned it into obsessions for you guys. I'm obsessed with that. There was a question, right? Somebody posed a question because I had said, I always talk about how I don't like youth sports because I don't like the adults in youth sports. The adults are always petty. They're always like, it's always about them. You know what I'm saying? There never was dude or lady or the mom who thinks their kid is like the next coming of Christ, and maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, pettiness, right? That's the part I hate. I love the act of the thing, right? And then it was like, well, why get involved in it if that's the case? Because I'm obsessed with the thing, right? I'm obsessed with the ability to help a young athlete make it somewhere. And I know that the greatest way to help them is way down there. See, I'm obsessed with complete college prospect because we're changing the way the thing is looked at, right? And in order to do that, sometimes it's already been infected, right? By the time a kid's in high school, they've been infected with the negativity of those people that help them, those people that don't. What might be this, what might be a scam, a hustle, a money grab, blah, 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 blah. They're already there. But if you go down here, then you can start something that by the time this group gets up here, it's already a thing. And everything behind them is already moving in a direction with that same thing and that same opportunity. That's why. Because someone has to change the way that we do things. Someone has to change the fact that some people, some organizations, some people, and it's not just one or two or three, like there's plenty across the country, across the world, right? That just don't do enough, or they do the bare minimum. And so you don't knock them because they're at least trying, but then you got to help them do better. You got to do something to help them do better. So for those that have questions, yeah. But that's why you got to be obsessed with this thing. For you athletes, you got to be obsessed. But that also means being obsessed about your grades, being obsessed about doing things in your community, be obsessed about being a good person, be obsessed about all of those things because they all are required in order to do what you're trying to do. The obsession has to be complete, period. I mean that. If your kid plays video games all day, every day, and you don't have to fight with them about if you say, hey, you could go play, they're going to go play. But then you got to fight with them about everything else. Your kid might be a gamer. And I've said it on the show before. The lead young men and women are making about $12 to $15 million a year gaming. So maybe sometimes you got to just see the thing, support the thing. If that's their obsession, push that path. Don't step in the way of that. You never go outside. Who cares? They might not be built for that. They might be built for that right there. Right there. Again, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to rock with how you rock. Hey, this one's about the basketball players out there, man. Basketball, softball, other things. This is discouraging, but it's true. So
it is unbelievably hard to get a scholarship as a high school basketball player in 2026. You have coaches literally saying, we are not recruiting any high school kids. Man, they're taking a big hit. And you say, we're now giving Division II players 5 years of eligibility with no penalty, not 4 years. Now you're really hurt.
Hey, it's like that out there. And I need you guys to wrap your head around that too. Just because you don't get a Division I offer, if someone else opens the door, take it. Don't be discouraged because you had to go below, right? That's the beast right now. You probably, if we go back 10 years, you're D1 all day, every day. But in this environment, on every sport, if we're being honest, it's hard to go from high school to the Division I level. You got to just get in the door and then move your way up. That's how that works. But you can't complain while you're where you are. You got to grind while you are where you are. You got to have the mental health to help yourself, like the lady said earlier, get out of bed. Get out of bed and make yourself move to go do the job. You can't just pity party because of where you are. You got to say, I'm here, I'm going to crush this so I can move to the next thing. Every one of these videos, where, like say, whether it's love or business or family or violence or coaching or whatever, these are all about the different aspects of mental health that I believe that I told damn near every kid that I mess with, they should watch the show today. Because something will resonate with them. The message might be for them. I don't know. I told parents the same thing because the message might be for them. And it's that simple. Luckily, it posts, so then you could go rewatch it if you have to. But that is a scary thought when it comes to just the ability to get a scholarship. And so parents, don't come down on your kids if they don't go to the level you want. or they're not hearing from the colleges that you think that they're good enough to be at. The point is that they're hearing from colleges, period. Because there's a lot of phones that aren't ringing. There's a lot of mailboxes that aren't getting mail. And that's a different mental health thing. So when your kid gets something, be happy and proud of that. And then help them adjust their reality to that. It doesn't adjust their capabilities. It's just the reality of the college environment today. It's shifting. And because of that, a lot of kids are getting depressed. I didn't go D1. I didn't this. I didn't that. This school didn't hold up with my offer and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just the environment right now. And so we got to address that mental health. We got to keep these kids lifted. We can't let them fall at all. We can't let any of that happen. We can't let any of that take place at all. On that loyalty and respect, I definitely thought this one was rock. So let's get it.
There are certain people that I thought was loyal to me, and I thought I was loyal to them and continue to stay loyal to them, but obviously they weren't loyal to me, and there is no more respect.
You understand? Like that's why I say respect. Respect is everything online. Respect is everything. There's people that I mess with that I like, that I love, that I won't do certain things out of respect. You know what I'm saying? There's people that are supposed to be be friends of mine that I will do anything for because of respect. My respect for the person is what causes my actions, not my loyalty. You know, but in that same vein, the minute, like, I'm a Cancer, right? I'm a July Cancer. So the absolute minute that I know that you are not rocking with me or that you betrayed me in some shape, form, or fashion, my on-off switch is machine gun ready. Like and it's complete. I always say the crazy part about me is I don't have a gray space, right? When I'm with you, I'm completely with you. Completely. It's done. It's done. The second that I'm not, it's also complete. Done. It's just how long it takes you to understand that I flipped the switch. That's all. I've never been able to go the other way. Either way. I've never been able to purposely go the other way myself. It just happens. And then I'm done. Absolutely done. You guys need to have, as athletes, you need to gain a thick skin. We used to have this thing of loyalty in sports. Oh, you play for this team, you do this, you do that. I used to knock LeBron all the time for bouncing around team to team. I don't use that argument anymore because it's almost dumb that we were programmed to say, oh, well, you should stay at this school even if they're not doing you right. Oh, you should stay with this program even if they're not doing you right. Oh, you should stay with this. You know, this is the team that drafted you. You should stay there even when they're not treating you right. No, you're the commodity. Absolutely not. Because it works the same. When you get injured or you cannot do the job anymore, they will replace your ass. They will not be loyal to you. It is rare that when you take an injury after the finishing out that year that a school will keep you on scholarship and pay for you to continue to go to school when you cannot play your sport. That is rare. So if they don't have loyalty, why should you have loyalty? You go where you can play. You go where you can get your money right. You go where it builds towards your future. You gotta have the ability to cut it on. You gotta have the ability to cut it off. It's how you stay sane. It's how you protect this. Your sanity here will protect this. Because the worst thing that can happen to you in the world is that you allow somebody to destroy this, and then you destroy this because of what they've done. People don't break your heart. People don't destroy your love. They destroy your mind. You destroy your heart. I know that's going to go over some people's head, but don't let it. Think about that. their actions didn't attack your love. Their actions didn't attack any of that. Over time, if you really think about it, they did things up here. A little bit here, a little bit there. It could be a coach. It could be a spouse. It could be a boyfriend, girlfriend. It could be whatever, a friend. They do things here. And then inevitably, you turn this off. That's when they win. I know athletes that stop loving their sport because a coach did this. And then the athlete, instead of rebelling against the coach, turned this off for their sport. Something they worked their whole life towards. Take the advice, don't take the advice. Let's see. There's a couple more of these joints. Hey, man, I do want to see this one. This goes back to that teammate thing I was telling you guys about. I know I say it and everybody's like, I know for a fact there's at least one parent that was on this show today listening and they're telling their kid, I mean, no, you love your teammates. And I love Timmy like he was my own kid. Yeah, as long as Timmy isn't hurting your kid. Because this thing where you try to help your team beat a team, that's only naivety at a young age. Because when you turn pro, it's not like that at all.
We do joke about it all the time. Yeah. Because you really competing against your team.
You're competing against your team, bro. I swear to God.
I see what you're saying.
You taught to compete with your team against other people. When you get to the pros, you are competing against your teammate, bro, because y'all fighting for a job, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Secretly, when you on the bench, if y'all fighting for a spot, you don't want him to do good, bro.
At all.
And it's crazy. But that's how people be feeling like, bro. Nigga trip or something. I don't want to get hurt, but I need to play. You play bad so I can get in.
Like, you try to think of it like people be like, man, if you wish well for somebody else, good things will happen to you. And then you just keep sitting there and you like, this nigga doing too well.
This nigga is killing.
I don't never
get a get off this bench.
Yeah, like the older dudes don't want to help you unless they like on a super max and like,
or they really almost doing.
I'm an established player and I know what you gonna do ain't gonna affect nothing I got going on. But if it's an older dude that might be like 2 or 3 years ahead of you that ain't got paid yet or they on the fence, they ain't about to help you. That was me and Dennis Schroeder. He probably hope I never did well. Like I didn't blame him. That's why I used to play through injuries all the time, roll my ankle just so he couldn't play. Swear to God. Lou be like, bro, you might sit that one out. Nope. I ain't gonna never let him play.
Understand? He's I didn't respect the kid as from a talent to talent perspective, my kid's better, right? Then I was like, there has to be something, right? And so what I saw the kid develop was heart. I knew my kid already had that, but I watched that kid develop heart. He took a horrible, and I mean horrible hit, like first game of my son's junior year, right? And I was like, yo, he's done. As he's coming to the sideline going down, my son goes in for a play, right? This kid's dad walks over and says, if you sit down, he's never letting you get back in. You're not coming home if you sit down. And I watched this kid get back up and go back out there. And then he had the craziest full leg brace on all week and then would take it off his entire career because he understood. And in that moment, I gained a lot of respect because I understood that he understood. I got to stay here, even injured, because it's not about whether and they didn't win. Listen, it's the perfect example of this. They were losing every week. And this kid was like, so what? I'm not coming off this field. I can't be. He didn't end up with a scholarship. But I respected the fact that he was like, yo, I'll do anything to keep that kid off this field. Anything to keep that kid off this field. I respected it. It wasn't about his team. It wasn't about the W's. And this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Yes, you want to get W's. Yes, you want to help your teammates win. But at the end of the day, if you're on a team, if you're on a basketball team, you got 15 players on your team, you'll be lucky if one of y'all go to college. Unless you're at an elite school, right? You'll be lucky if one goes to college. Are you willing to let it be somebody else? I'm shooting. Get mad if you want. I'm getting buckets. If I get that ball anywhere near my ability to drive or pull up, it's done. They used to call plays for my son to hand off to the running back in the red zone, and he used to be like, nah, I'm good, and just run it in himself. He was a quarterback lead in rushing touchdowns and conversions on fourth. You know what I'm saying? Because and the running backs would get mad. He was like, nah, I'm good. You know who's in college and who is not? The running backs are absolutely not. He is. So I get it. But you guys need to understand, you are not just competing against the other person on the other team. This is not just a team thing. You are also competing for your life, for your very existence. You've got to play. You cannot be seen on the bench. No recruiter can see you on the bench. For you high school and youth players, no high school coach can recruit you from the bench. It's not something that can happen. And it will mess with your mental health if you don't get up and make yourself active. This is just, it's what it is, man. It's what it is. We got 2 more of these. I got 3, but there's really only 2 that I think are like crazy important. This one right here for sure, because mindset matters. And I just think we got to move in a different direction.
If you are in your 40s or 50s and you think that you are too old to set a big goal or make big changes in your life, consider it again. I will tell you why. Because there is a guy called Napoleon Hill who studied the most successful people in the United States at the beginning of the 20th century. 500 of the most successful people. And he found most of them, they truly became successful in their 40s. So, and he says that the most productive years are the 40s and the 50s. So if you think that you are too old, consider it again. Because these are the years which are the golden years, where you have wisdom, experience, relationships, and the mindset which could help you go toward whatever you want.
Hey, that message is for the parents and definitely for my guys that are preparing to retire, but definitely for you, my guy. This is, it's not over. It's just different. Whether you're in a relationship and you're about to, you got to let that go. Whether you are at a job and you got to let that go, whether you are, I don't know, like I know dudes that are in their 40s and go out and coach Little League and cleats. I know dudes in their 20s and 30s that go out and I'm like, what? Why do you have on cleats? Like you're coaching youth football, but you're in cleats. And I don't understand that, because this is what it tells me, right? When I see you in cleats, it tells me that you are, a part of you still thinks this is you. And when I see it, what I definitely know is that it never was you. It's the telltale sign. When I see, I'm dead ass. When I see someone, you're not going to step to a high school field or a college field or a pro field and see coaches wearing cleats. That's not going to happen. But when I see that at the youth level and stuff, the very first, like 2 things happen. 1, still living in your glory days, wherever that was, youth, high school, whatever. Because it definitely didn't go beyond that. 2, you definitely were and never was. You want to get to the place, athletes, you want to get to the place where you can be considered a has-been. Has-been is great because it means you got where you were trying to go. You used to be. You see what I'm saying? You used to be. The worst thing that you could do for your mental health is be a never was. And I mean that. This is why we've got to succeed where most fail. We have to. Don't tread lightly in what you do every day. And consider this in your growth.
No one needs to hear this, but you got to be patient with yourself when you're becoming someone you've never been before. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Don't rush the process, because every small step forward is shaping you into the version of yourself you've been working for. Trust the journey. Give yourself grace. And remember, becoming greater takes patience.
You know, it's funny. Like recently, I was supposed to do something and it fell through. In the situation, people thought I would be upset. But what wasn't understood was that if I'm watching a person's growth, right? If I'm seeing it before my eyes, that's a special thing to be able to watch someone grow. Why would I not be patient? If you care about something, anything, whatever it is, right? If you have a pet and or your child or your business, whatever, a friendship, and you are watching something grow in front of you, that's a special thing. You don't get to see growth every day unless you're actually paying attention to it. And you only pay attention when you care. But when you're watching something or someone change and become what they were meant to be, no matter whether they've been oppressed, whether they've been, no one believed in them, whatever it is, you have to be patient. Patience is a must because you want to be a part of what they become, what they accomplish. Coaches, be patient. Be patient. There's always runts in every litter. You might just be dealing with a runt that one day is going to be that dog. One day it's going to be that dog. Be patient. Remember that it's legacy over everything. Coaches, this is your legacy. Make sure you're dealing with the mental health of your athletes. Athletes, you are the legacy. So please make sure you're taking care of yourself. Recovery is not just about recovering your body, it's about recovering your mind and your soul. It's important. You have to have time to reset because this thing is all consuming. And remember what I said, as much as we love it, it will never love us back. It will never love you back. You will never get out of this thing what you've put into it. And it will never sacrifice for you. You could be sick, you could be hurt, you could be dying. And I promise you, your game, your match, your sport will continue. It will never love you back. And so it is important that you recover and take care of your mental recovery as well. Look, man, for you guys, like I said, for the people that stayed on the show, I thank you. For the people that didn't, come back one day. Watch it later. You might find that something in the show was for you. Mental health is serious. If this show today saves one life, it was worth it. If it saves one relationship, it was worth it. If it saves a parent messing up their kid's future, it was worth it. If it saves a parent from being frustrated and they actually talk to their child so that they don't have to bury their child, or they don't have to see their child in jail, or they don't have to see their child give up on something that they love, it was worth it. If this makes coaches understand that they got to do better, it was worth it. If it makes coaches understand, because your mental health is important too, coaches. I'm telling you, I get it. You can do everything right. I'm telling you now, there was the coaches that won a game and parents still had something to say. They won a tough game and there were still complaints. I get it. This is a thankless thing. So if this helps you to understand that you need to recover too, I'm here for it. This is the People Show. This is the Who's Up Next show. You know what it is. The big fella in the guerrilla army, it's growing every single day, and it's growing because it's all encompassing and it's all inviting. We don't turn away anyone about anything. And this is why we're going to grind out to this, because I always got to make sure I put them on. And then we're going to get up out of here. Hey, for you guys that don't know, the Who's Up Next show, Complete College Prospect, partnered up with the Special Olympics. So, you know, this is going to be home of the Special Olympics for sure. And everything that they do, there'll be a new video up next week for an ad for them. Look, I'm happy that that's how I rocked out and capped it with, because I told you at the beginning of the show, I was terrified about this show, because I knew that in order to talk about mental health and to help other people with mental health, that it would evoke my own emotions and pains and things like that, and to have to share some insight into me, you know what I'm saying? Because you can never try to help someone else with their mental health unless you're vulnerable about the things you've been through and where you come from. And so I've never been terrified of a show since the very first one. And I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified to do the show. And now that I've done it, I am excited, because I know I've got messages. That's how I know that it's already affecting people out there. So thank you for allowing me to do that. Thank you for watching the show. For those that stuck with it, there's quite a few people on the different outlets. Thank you for rocking. Like I said, if the messages were for you, then it was for you. If it wasn't for you, then it wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? Watch it later. You just never know when that message is going to be for you. Damari got you dialed in. And just again, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being open. Thank you for understanding how important discussion about the mental health of athletes and everything that surrounds athletes is. Yeah, everything. This is the People Show, man. This is the People Show. Hands down, all day, every day. Look, I love you guys. I love everything that I do. I love that you allow me into your homes and on your phones and everything else that you stream on Sundays. And the big fella is here for that. Again, if you need someone to talk to or to listen and you do not have a village, you are now part of the guerrilla army, and this is your village. This is a safe space. Link up, speak up. If you were considering the unconsiderable, please, I beg you, reach out. I will personally call you If you don't, the world would be a less great place without you. That's a fact. I love you guys. Big fella.